Welcome back to the Loading Up podcast. I am your host, Producer Jay, along with both of my co-hosts, Brother Zay.
Drugs is a good formation to sleep on.
What?
That was wild.
Okay. I also have Brother Zay.
Yo, what's up?
What's good, guys? Before we go into everything, just want to remind you that if you're watching on YouTube, you can like, comment, and subscribe to help us out and reach more people, because we want to have our voices heard by as much people as possible. You can also support us by supporting our sponsors, which will be in the description, which is W Energy. Use code LUP at checkout to save 10% off your first order. NordVPN, where you could save, I always forget the number, it's 67, 68, 69%, one of those.
Yeah. Crazy
It's something crazy, but you can check out all the information on that if you click the link in the description. And you can also check out StarForge PCs for all your custom PC needs. We thank you for supporting them, and we thank them for supporting us. With that being said, how have you guys been? What have you What have you guys been playing? We'll start with Brother Zay.
What have I been playing so far?
Yeah.
That's a very good question. I've been I've just been very busy, so video games has not been on my radar this time.
What else is new, right? You're always
True.
busy.
Too busy. That's crazy.
What was it? I think I remember. So TFT started a new set based on I Can't game that just ended season 2.
Oh yeah, that's
So
right.
I'm-
Yeah.
So I've been playing that, and I'm on Mario Party Jamboree right now, causing problems. So got to
That's the life.
re-download it because I turned it off. I had to undownload it to make some space.
Yeah, that's the life of not having enough space for games that you'll never play. Or maybe that's just me. But what have you been playing, Brother Zay?
I've been finishing a lot of games. So I guess since the last time we talked, I finished the Call of Duty Black Ops 6 campaign.
Okay.
That was awesome. I also finished our Sunday game, the Divinity Original Sin 2, which is also an amazing game. We got like all the endings.
Nice.
I would have never been able to do that without Brea. She saved it at the perfect moment so we could go back and get all the endings.
Oh, you save scrummed? Oh, you cheater.
No, it was just one extra save. Calm down.
Sure.
Is it cheating?
No, that's part of
Is
the
it-
game.
Like, is it really cheating?
It's
Nope.
not.
It's not.
That's part of the
So, yeah,
process.
So we got like all the endings, and I think we actually ended up with the last ending we did was actually the best ending for the game, which was pretty cool. So I finished that. I finished my evil playthrough of Baldur's Gate 3,
Damn.
and that is officially 3 playthroughs that I've done. It's absolutely an amazing game, and I know I'm gonna get back into it and do another playthrough, because they said that they're gonna have another update. Even though the last update was there, that's it. It was the last one. Now they're gonna do another update, and they're adding more classes, photo modes, and a bunch of other stuff. So eventually, when they add that one, I'll go through another playthrough.
Jeez, I haven't even gone through one playthrough yet.
You just step it up.
I know. I
Sounds
always
like
say
sounds like you behind.
I am behind, and every time I want to play it, like something comes up, or I'm just too tired, because I want to play like on a Friday night, after work, and like when I have time, because I said I wanted to play with my fiance just so we could play together, but it just never works out. But hopefully sometime soon,
Yeah.
maybe.
I've also I started playing, as you can see, Stalker 2. I started on the PC, and since it's one of those play anywhere titles, I picked it up after I recorded so I can play on the Xbox, which I'm having a lot of fun with. You'll see me die a couple times because it's absolutely terrifying. I was playing at night and I was terrified. I had my lights on and everything. But I'm also playing Dragon Age: The Veilguard.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I'm actually having a lot of fun with that game. The combat is really, really fun. And I'm like almost done with that. There's like 14 chapters. I'm on like chapter 10. So
You want a fun
I'm
fact,
moving
brother?
along.
You want a fun
What's
fact,
that?
producer Jay and brother Zay?
What's
When I
that?
started, when I started my streaming, when I started streaming on Twitch, my first 4 games were horror games.
I
Oh,
feel like
nah.
that's the best way to get started. Like people want to watch other people get scared.
It was like I think it was the Evil Within, Silent
Oh yeah,
Hill, and I think both, and I think Resident Evils because they came out at that time.
yeah.
I don't do horror games, so Stalker 2 was like scary enough for me. You got a bloodsucker running at your face. You don't even see him half the time.
It's a great game.
It can be exhilarating, but like you can't play it all the time, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
With
I
that
mean, so
attitude.
as you can see, I've been busy playing many games.
Yeah, you had
And
an extra week too
playing
because
games.
we didn't record last week just because scheduling and busy lives, you know.
Yeah, the holidays came around, so spend time with your family.
Yes, absolutely.
That's the most important. But
Gross.
it's okay. That gives us enough juice to last and give you guys a good show today.
Absolutely. So I've actually been playing a few games. I went back to because we were talking just off screen about Dragon Ball Sparking
Mhm.
Zero. I went back and started playing it again because I felt like I was neglecting it. And I felt bad, so I started playing it again, and I need to play it more often because it's just like it's fun, but I got like really rusty. Like I kept losing, like, and like because I'm doing the story mode, like I'm not really like playing online yet. So I'm up to, well, I just beat it before we started. The Goku Black arc. So I finished that, but just getting through the Zamasu fights, it's just like I was getting my ass handed to me. I'm just like, how? Like I thought I was pretty good, like, but no, I'm not good anymore. Um. But in before that, I've been playing a lot of Call of Duty. Like I don't know what it is. Like I got hooked, and now I'm playing, and I'm close to getting my second gold gun. I know that's not a big deal for you guys, or for you, Brother Zay, or anybody listening, Brother Matt.
No, no, you're doing good. You're doing good. Keep
No,
it up.
I'm doing at my pace.
I think it's fine. I stopped playing Call of Duty for a while, so
Yeah, I know.
I
I did
always
too.
I always think about going back just to see if I can still proceed and do all the things I used to do.
Yeah. So I feel like I've been getting a lot more comfortable playing Call of Duty. Like I don't feel like I'm lost, you know? Like I feel like I can actually play. And I know that's probably like the whole skill-based matchmaking thing, but I mean that's the point of it, right? So yeah, so I've been
Yes,
playing a lot of that.
lot of
I've also been playing more of the Plucky Squire, which is still like it's such a joy to play. Like honestly, like it's exactly what I wanted it to be, and I'm so happy like it is what it is, because it's one of those times where it's like you want it to be something, but then like maybe it might not be what it is, but it is. I know that sounds weird, but it's good. I love playing it. I made good progress. Like it was, because normally I play the game while I'm at work, but like because I was so into it, like I was even playing it when I got home. Like I was like, no, I gotta keep playing this game. It's really good.
So I gotta finish. There's something in it for me now.
Yes, I gotta finish games. but yeah, so that's the main things I've been playing.
All right. Before we get into news, did anybody pick up any Black Friday sales? Like any games for Black Friday?
Well, I think it was a Black Friday sale, but I mentioned it that I got my kids' Castle Crashers.
Yes.
That I think that was the only thing that I got that was on sale, at least like gaming related directly. Everything else was just like gifts, like.
I was gonna say, no. I spent buying Christmas gifts for the family and some friends.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm thinking about picking up the Plucky Squire because it is on Black Friday sale on Steam. So.
Oh yeah. definitely. I definitely recommend doing it. It's so good.
Nice. All right. Well, now the sales are there for anybody who wants to see there. I think they're there until Monday.
Yeah, probably
Yep.
when you're listening to this will be the last day.
Yeah, definitely.
So
But
if you
let's
listen
get
to
into
this, if you listen to it and then you like, oh snap, this is a good reminder, give us a like and stuff. You're like, yo, thank you.
Yeah. Give us our kudos.
The things we do for you.
Definitely. Now let's get into it because we haven't talked about the Game Awards, the nominations since they came out. They came out with the nominations. I think it was probably 2 weeks ago, and it's been interesting to see what people have been saying online. And this week or next week is the actual awards, so it's a good time to get into exactly what we think about the Game of the Year nominations. So let's just go down the list. The Game of the Year nominations are Astrobot, Baratro, Black Myth Wukong, Elden Ring, Shadow of the Ear Tree, the DLC, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and Metaphor Refantasio. And you know what? I'm gonna go last. We're just talking about Game of the Year specifically. What do you guys think of the nominations?
You want to go, Brother Zay, or?
I'm completely mad about it, if you want the honest answer.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the same boat. Like, I'm not outraged like a lot of people are.
Yeah,
I just think it's like, it's just so. Honestly, it paints like 2024 in terms of gaming in kind of a sour light. The fact that of all the games that released this year, a DLC for a game that came out 2 years ago was nominated. Like, I get that it was good and like it should get nominated for something, but Game of the Year?
Yeah.
I just feel like, I mean, granted, the Game of the Year awards, the Game Awards in general, it's nonsense. Like, it's all marketing, it's all hype, it's all like pushing the Jeff Keighley's agenda. But it's true. It's his show, so he can do whatever the hell he wants. It's the fact that you want the Game Awards to be taken seriously. You want it to be I mean, he even does it himself. He compares it to like the Oscars or the freaking the forget what other one, the Golden Globes or whatever.
The Tonys.
The Tonys, yeah, all the other like actual award shows that have some credibility. He wants the Game Awards to be that for video games. And I commend him for it. But at the same time, like, when you're doing stuff like this, it's kind of like a slap in the face. It's like, what are you doing? Like, this is not how it's supposed to go. Imagine if, you know how like the Marvel movies, they used to have those little shorts that were like, they come out on the DVDs, like I think they call them like one shots or whatever, where there's like basically like side stories that were like kind of tied to the movie. Yes. But they weren't like they weren't anything huge. It was just like extra. Imagine if one of those got nominated for like best movie,
best picture of the year.
Yeah, and it's just like, what? It's like, what are you doing? Like, I don't care how good it is. It's not the main thing. Like, and especially with like Shadow of the Earth Tree, it's not like, oh, you download the DLC, you can just jump right into it. No, you actually have to play the game in order to get to the part where you can play the DLC. So it's like, you need the base game in order to even start the game. It's not like a standalone. It's not a separate thing. If it was a separate thing, maybe we can talk about it. Like, but it's not. So I feel like it's just they didn't want to. I don't know, but they just did want to nominate certain games, and it kind of showed. And I feel like they're doing, like I said before, a disservice to the whole year of games that you know, that actually would deserve a nomination. The fact that freaking Dragon's Dogma didn't get nominated, that's dumb. Like, why? That was very highly regarded and people loved it. And I don't know. But yeah,
honestly, I think it's absolutely ridiculous to have a DLC there, and then you have a remake there as well in Final Fantasy VII. If you have Final Fantasy VII there, why not put Persona 3 Reloaded in there instead of Elden Ring?
Yeah.
Because Persona 3 Reloaded, it was absolutely fantastic. It actually made me fall in love with the Persona series. You know, all like just fall in love with it. Absolutely love the whole series now. I got Golden. That's another thing. I got Golden on sale in the Black Friday sales on Xbox, and I repurchased Persona 5 because I had it on PlayStation but never got to play it on PlayStation. So like if Final Fantasy VII Rebirth there, Persona 3 Reloaded should be there.
Yeah,
And
if you're gonna do it,
True.
like just go all out. Like, why are you like picking and choosing like with remakes and DLCs? Like,
Yeah.
there's other DLCs that probably could have got nominated too. Like,
Absolutely. There's some DLCs that were fantastic that I heard about or got to see play on Twitch because I may not own it. But also just remakes in general. There was a lot better ones than Final Fantasy. And I'm the one, as I'm streaming it with my friend, I tell you right now, there's a lot of other games that are like, you know what? There's some remakes that are a little better than this. Personally.
no, you're absolutely right. And what about Space Marines 2?
Yeah.
I don't even think it got nominated for anything.
no,
It did. I don't
And-
remember seeing his name on any awards.
Which is absolutely criminal because that game is so fun. That's the game that we're also playing after Divinity Original Sin 2, since our next game that we're playing is Space Marines 2, and we're having a blast playing it. Now, how is that not nominated in any category? It's absolutely ridiculous over a DLC and a crappy remake. It just goes to show you that there's some really heavy bias going on at the Keeleys. You know, they obviously want to push an agenda where you're gonna have more PlayStation owned games out there.
yeah. Which actually it was kind of shocking that they didn't put The Last of Us Part 2 remastered or Horizon Zero Dawn remastered. Because I felt like that's what they were leaning towards, like that when they announced that whole thing, like, oh, DLC and remastered will be in consideration. I thought that's what it was for.
I thought they were going to do that too. I was surprised for the Elden Ring DLC. I'll give you that.
Yeah,
But either way, it's with this particular list. If Metaphor with Fantasio doesn't win, it's rigged. It's just absolutely rigged. And I know it's not going to win because I feel like those type of games are like niche, right? But then I say that, but then last year, Baldur's Gate 3 won, which is that type of game. So
yeah.
I don't know. I want Metaphor out of this list. I feel like Metaphor has to win. I don't think Balasha, although it's fun and people are enjoying it, or Astrobot, I don't think those are actual contenders. Those are just put there by Jeff and his Sony fanboys.
Yeah.
Black Myth Wukong, maybe it did suffer some major performance issues. It did suffer major performance issues.
It had some performance issues. It was still I thoroughly enjoyed it. But you're right.
Well, yeah.
What
Yeah,
I'm
some
actually
issues.
I'm surprised by Wukong being there. Not because it wasn't a good game or anything like that, but I would have sworn that like with the whole Hogwarts Legacy thing last year, like it didn't get nominated for anything, and it was one of the highly rated games last year. It sold the most last year. Like everybody was praising how good it was, and it didn't get a single nomination. So I thought for sure, because of political stuff, that Jeff Keighley was just not even going to touch it, despite like people wanting to it. But the fact that it's there is just like, so what was that whole thing last year was about? That's the thing too. Like, it feels like every year, Jeff Keighley does these awards and addresses something that happened last year. Like literally, like I think it was like 3 years ago where Forza Horizon 5 didn't get nominated because they quote unquote missed the cutoff date or whatever. Despite like, that's what the reasoning was.
That's what he said.
Yeah, that's what he said. Then the next year, God of War Ragnarok got nominated, even though it released after that supposed cutoff window. So he fixed it now to make it work for a PlayStation game. Go figure. And then now, like if you're looking at Wukong, or what was it? Last year, Starfield didn't get nominated because it was only like an 83 or something like that. It wasn't big enough, or it didn't get highly rated enough. Well, he didn't say that, but a lot of people were saying that. But now you got Wukong, which got like an 82. So it's like, what is the barometer that is causing these games to not be nominated? Like,
Wukong got 82 on PC, but I think it was like 90 something on the PlayStation. And that just right there goes to show you exactly where the bias lies with the Kiwis. It doesn't matter because if it's a PlayStation game and it sells a lot, it's gonna be nominated. You know, I mean, they do this every year.
Yeah, but if sales are the thing, then again, with Hogwarts, if like that doesn't make any sense. Like, there's just so many contradictions with these Game Awards things, and it's
but see, Hogwarts wasn't a PlayStation game, right?
It was marketed by PlayStation, so maybe that counts.
Or they did have the marketing rights and even an exclusive DLC for like a year. But still, you know, this is sort of like the first game out of China, the first AAA game out of China that sold stupid well. It was like 10 million copies in the first 10 days. Ridiculous.
Yeah, it was really good.
So that's probably why. But I hear what you're saying. A lot of it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it's always like constant contradictions, and that's my main issue with them. But honestly, I agree with you. I haven't played Metaphor. I actually am interested in it because based on everything I've heard from it, it seems like right up my alley.
It's sale right now.
I can't.
I know.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's either Metaphor or honestly, I hate to say it, I think the Elden Ring might have a chance to win again.
If it does, it'd be hilarious.
You know what? If they're gonna do this, I want it to win because if this is the standard that they're gonna have, then you know what? Fuck it. Why not? I'll make it part of the problem. You want it to be a problem? I'll make it a problem.
Yeah, I'm surprised Black Ops 6 didn't get nominated. It came out to really good reviews. It sold well. It's doing well still. I mean,
the only way Call of Duty gets nominated for Game of the Year is like if 0 games come out that year. Like, I feel like we're not in the age where Call of Duty can get nominated anymore.
I mean, it had a really great campaign, you know.
I mean, it got nominated for like best multiplayer and best like.
I mean, it got a couple of nominations, different categories for sure.
Yeah, not for Game of the Year though.
No, not Game of the Year. It got like best audio design, innovation and accessibility.
Yeah.
It got I think it wasn't best ongoing.
No, not best ongoing.
There was definitely a couple of categories where it was like, okay, Call of Duty's in there. So at least I got the best action game.
And I actually, speaking of best ongoing, the Playground Games actually threw shade at the Game Awards for not nominating it for best ongoing game. And they posted like a whole list of everything that they've released like since the game, like since for Forza Horizon 5, like all the DLC, all the extra stuff, like. Yeah. And they were just like, we know what the best ongoing game is.
I mean, honestly, the best, especially after this past weekend. So this weekend, the best ongoing game I feel should be Fortnite. They just had a major sort of event where they had a Juice WRLD concert, where they had
Juice WRLD, saw that.
Snoop Dogg, Eminem, Ice Spice. It was huge. They had 12 million concurrent players, which was the most concurrent players they've ever had throughout its whole history. So if Fortnite doesn't win best ongoing, then it's definitely rigged.
I need them to let Juice WRLD like actually rest. I'm tired of seeing him.
You know what? I kind of agree with you. Like, he's been dead for like a couple years now. Like,
let's
stop milking him.
I said the same exact thing. When I found out that they were doing like a Juice WRLD event, but at the same time, it's like he wanted this.
I understand.
He had said that he wanted to be to change the world and to be part of something bigger and to be in Fortnite and stuff like that. So this is something that
that's because he was friends. That's because he was friends with Travis Scott and Eminem, and they had their own Fortnite stuff. So probably, he's like, I wouldn't do like that. But like, I'm not only saying that because of the Fortnite thing. But he also had an album get released this week.
Yeah,
well.
I
So,
didn't even
like-
know about that. I was like, what? How?
That's when I'm like, at a certain point, can we let him rest at this point? Because this is his third album he's released since he's been dead. And I'm not joking.
That's
My
Crazy.
one concern when I heard about Juice WRLD being in Fortnite was, all right, who's getting these royalties? Because if Epic is
it
just
has to be his
everything,
estate, right?
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. If Epic is pocketing everything, it's messed up.
I don't know, because it's not. I don't know who gets it, because like it could be his estate, it could be his girlfriend at
label.
the time, could be his label. Definitely might get it. It's a lot.
Yeah, and
There's a
that,
lot that
that
goes with
is
that.
where it gets muddy and messed up. That's where,
Right.
for sure. Either way, still Fortnite would be the best ongoing game. It beats everybody out the water for who's in there. I mean, people are pissed off at Diablo and Destiny 2, Final Fantasy 14. Sure, it's still been ongoing, but it's not nearly as big as Fortnite. And Helldivers 2 took a crap in a dumpster a couple months ago. So it has to be Fortnite for best ongoing.
Right. I would have voted for it if they released a Bad Bunny pack.
Oh no.
No.
Let's move on, because we could sit here and talk about every category the whole night.
Yeah, we could.
Honestly, I thought that was gonna be one of our episodes on in this year when that came out.
No, we're not gonna do like every category.
We could probably do it like closer to. Wait, when is it? Is it next week?
I think it's the 12th.
Should have did it this. God damn it!
No, it's fine.
I blame Brother Zay. He distracted us.
He did.
Yes, he did. Let's all blame him. All right, so let's move on. So a few months ago, we talked about how a terminally ill boy his last wish was basically to try and get in contact with somebody over at Gearbox so that way they can play the upcoming Borderlands 4. And I guess we're happy to say that this young man was able to go ahead and play the game. They met up with the game directors and the CEO, and they gave him an experience to actually play the game. And of course, they didn't allow him to talk about the game, but he said the game was amazing. And he really was just really happy that he was able to get there and play. The young man named Caleb, he has late stage 4 terminal cancer, and they only gave him 12 months to live. So I'm really happy to say that Gearbox really stepped up and came out and said, listen, this is going to be like your last wish. You want to do it? Let's do it. And they flew him out there. The CEO, Randy, flew him out there and gave him an experience that he will remember.
May he rest in peace. So thank God there's something good in business.
Thanks.
Well, he's still alive, right?
Yes.
For now.
For now. Well, yeah, no.
I've-
These type of stories always like it makes me smile that there is still good out there. You know, like with all the negativity that's happened, like it's nice to hear something good for a change. Like I've heard stories about, like, I think there was one guy who he wanted to watch, I think it was Endgame with his father who was dying or something like that, and you know, like it doesn't take much to, you know, just do it. Like, why not? You know, like then fuck spoilers, fuck like anything like that. Like, do something good. So I'm glad that Gearbox was able to fulfill this guy's final wishes. And
I mean, and also because of the final wish that sort of went viral in the gaming community, his GoFundMe for helping his family with all the medical bills surpassed their goal. The goal was set at 8,000. They're already at 12,000 for all their medical bills. So it was like it did more good than anything, and like it's just really nice to see that in some people's darkest hours we could give them a little bit of light.
that's good. It's nice.
Yeah.
We gotta stop
Right.
talking about this like this kid's dead. It's throwing me off.
No, but it's still a good thing though. Like,
It's a very good thing. It's just throwing me off a little bit. Hold on, give me a minute.
okay.
We get it together. I was like, right.
All right, let's get it together then. All right. So let's continue on with some news from Xbox. So we have stream your own games. Xbox came out November 20th, where you're now able to stream your own games in the cloud. It's still in beta and it's not every single game, but they're already talked about how they're working on to bring more games, more of your own games able to play anywhere that is an Xbox. And just like the marketing we talked about last time, pretty much anything's an Xbox. You got your laptop, you got your phone, PC. You can even play games on your iPad. As long as you have an Xbox Game Pass subscription, you're able to play your game. So if you, let's say you own Baldur's Gate 3, you can play it in the cloud anywhere. You take it and play on your phone. It doesn't matter. It's something that I think this is sort of like Xbox's mission. They want everyone to be able to enjoy their own games wherever they are. As long as they're in the ecosystem, you're part of Xbox and you're playing the games. And this is what they were talking about with this is an Xbox. And they had that whole big marketing spiel where people didn't like it, but this is sort of their goal. They want everybody to realize you can play your games anywhere. And
No
this
matter
is
what.
the big first step. And surprisingly, a lot of Final Fantasy games, I think the Final Fantasy collection that originally came out is all part of it, so you could literally play it anywhere. As long as you have, like I said, it could be on your Samsung TV. You can, no Xbox required. You can literally play your games as long as you own it, which is really good. This is good for gaming. You have more options and more choices. You're not locked into a $500 box. You can get a TV, or you could just, if you have a phone, you just get Game Pass and play your games.
Yeah, honestly, like this, I've said it online. Like, this is where the industry should be headed. The idea of truly like owning the game. It's not like, I mean, it's not like actually owning it, but it's like, it's the closest thing that you're probably going to get because you can access it on anything. Like that's the future for me. Like when I think about the future, I think about how like Netflix works and how like all these other streaming app works. Like I can use it on my phone. I can use it on my TV. I can use it on my Xbox. I can use it on any device with a screen. Like that's the point. Like having all that stuff come with you where you are. Like that's what I want. That's what everybody should want. But you have people like so against it, like the idea of being able to play games wherever you are, that it's silly, honestly. And I think this is the right move for the gaming industry at large. And I know I'm actually shocked at the amount of games that they were able to get on there. And it's not like just some like indie games, it's big games, like
Big games.
yeah, like Hogwarts Legacy is on there, Baldur's Gate, Cyberpunk, like all these big games are on there, and that they could have easily been like, nah, you got to buy those wherever you're going to be. Like if you want to buy it on like for playing on mobile, you got to buy it on Steam or whatever. They could have easily done that, but no, they're giving you the option to play these games on the cloud if you bought it on Xbox. And it's so good. And I'm hoping more studios and developers and publishers are able to support that, which it seems like they are. This is only like the first wave. They're gonna keep introducing more games as we go forward. And because right now it's like browser based, specifically because I think they want it to be able to like work on like iPhones and iPads and stuff like that. But eventually they're gonna add it to like the native app and on Xbox itself. So yeah, this is really good news. Anybody complaining about this, like there's nothing to complain about. This is only good.
Yeah, most definitely. They even have Xbox was planning a app to come out and or to allow you to purchase games within the Xbox app, but they're being held by a court case. I think it's the Epic court case against Google. So they're being held up by the court case. They're waiting for the courts to sort of make their decision so that way Xbox can come out and give players more choices instead of being locked behind Google or the App Store on iOS. They want them to be here. This is an app. You can play your Xbox games. You can purchase them there and then play them anywhere. So we're hoping that the courts decide in the favor of consumers and allow this to go through. Xbox has already came out and stated, Sarah Bond herself came out and stated that they're ready to pull the trigger as soon as the courts decide. So the future of games is everywhere, and Xbox is sort of ahead of the curve in that sense.
Yeah, I think, well, because Google came out and made like a statement saying like, oh, they always could have done this. Like, there's nothing preventing them. But that's like disingenuous because like you're preventing them because you wanted a cut. Like, you want a cut per game sold. And that's where the issue lies. And that's
they want
why
a bigger cut than like any other store, and that's the problem.
Right. And that's the issue. Because they're not doing it for like any other streaming service, like, or like Amazon Prime. Like, if you buy a thing on Prime, like, I don't think they charge per purchase, or like they don't charge Amazon per purchase. Maybe they do. I don't know. But if they do, then it's shitty. But yeah, so they're ready to do it. Honestly, what they should have done, at least for like Android, or I don't know if you could do it on iPhone yet. I know they said that you would be able to sideload apps. Just release the APK. Just let people download it already and then just use it. Why not? Like, that's what freaking Fortnite did. That's how they bypassed it. You can download the APK and just play it through there.
Yeah, no, they definitely need to circumvent them if they can't win in the courts. They definitely can circumvent them, and I think they will, because like Google and iOS with the App Store, they basically have a monopoly. They're the only two ones. They've just been competing against each other, but really it's just them. They don't want anybody else in the space, and they need competition breeds creativity and innovation, and they need that. You know, they need somebody else to come out there and allow them to innovate, because without that, the consumer suffers.
Right.
That was Xbox Cloud Service. After the Xbox decided to come out with their Xbox Cloud Gaming Beta, where you can play all your games, or 50 of the games you own anywhere, PlayStation decided to give an update to the Portal. The PlayStation Portal was a remote play only. You had to have a PS5 and you needed to connect to your home internet in order to be able to turn on and play your games. So it wasn't really useful. I mean, yeah, people got use out of it, but you just had to play your games from your PS5 on it. But now they updated to where you can play cloud gaming. So as long as you have the PlayStation Premium service, you're able to play, I think it was like 150 games right off the bat, right on the Portal. You just got to go into the settings and fix the settings and play any PlayStation cloud game on the service, which is a big step in the right direction, because like I said, they're following in the footsteps of Xbox, just trying to get as much foothold in the cloud space as well as in the future for the way the industry is going.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we spoke about it before, where PlayStation doesn't like to be the innovator. They like to maintain the status quo. They like to keep things the way they are until it's not the same way anymore. And then they'll pivot. Yeah. But they don't want to be the first ones to do it. So that's why like Xbox kind of has to be the ones to like do the thing first and then see if it works. And if it does, then PlayStation will follow after. So it's like, eventually PlayStation's just going to do everything that Xbox is doing right now. Like, anybody who thinks that's not going to happen is just, they're kidding themselves. Like, it's literally been happening for years.
In our face right now.
Yeah, exactly. Like, this is a prime example of it right now. So
they are very much like, well, if it worked out for them,
yeah, it'll work out better for us. Like, there's ways, like they're very calculated.
They've been like this. That's what they always
Yes,
been like.
yeah. Sony has always been like this. They don't just do things without like seeing how it works out for others first.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. But either way, this is a great thing. I think, like I said, there was over 120 PS5 games you could play on your portal as long as you had that subscription. You could play on your portal. And that's really great for PlayStation players because it actually makes the portal viable now because I don't think it was viable before, even though I own one.
Yeah.
So that's good. It's good for the PlayStation players.
It is a little weird that they didn't launch with this though. Like it seemed like that was like the point of it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I mean, better late than never.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we got it. It's here. Enjoy your games without having to turn on your PS5, playing in cloud. As long as you have a good internet connection.
Well, yes, that's also you have to.
All right, so let's get some more PlayStation news because I think this was sort of like a big shocking news this week that came out where Shuhei Yoshida, he was the president of PlayStation Studios during the PS3 and some of the PS4 years. He is retiring. He's retiring from Sony. He announced this week that he's just wanted to move on. He's been with the company for over 31 years. And I think some people will remember Shuhei Yoshida as the guy in the commercial that made fun of
how
Xbox.
you play your games, yeah.
Yes. The sharing of the Xbox or the PlayStation games where you just give your game to a friend. That was him. If you don't know him, now you do because that video went viral everywhere. And he is now officially retiring from Sony. People they released this information in a PlayStation blog post where they discussed with him his career and all his achievements. Since he's been there since I think 1993. He was there literally the first non-engineer at Sony to come in and sort of make what PlayStation is today. So he was there since the beginning, and he shaped his career and Sony to the powerhouse that it has been. And we at Sony, or we at Sony, we at here loading up. We like to we like to thank the people who sort of shaped our career because growing up we had PlayStations. We all grew up with Sony, and we grew up with all these amazing games that people like Shuhei Yoshida spearheaded and made the company is to what it is today. So we just want to give him a big thank you. And we know that from what he said, he is staying in the industry, but just retiring from Sony. So we wish him luck and hope to see where he goes next.
Yeah, this came as like a real shocker because like you said, he's been with Sony for like 30 years or something like that. So
yeah,
that's a long time to go. Like he was kind of like a Major Nelson type figure for like PlayStation, like in comparison, where like he was just always there, and now he's leaving. So yeah, I do question though. Like, call me like tinfoil hat or whatever. The timing seems a little weird because I feel like he would have been one of the people who would have been in contention for becoming the head of PlayStation after Jim Ryan left. And I think maybe there might have been some issues. I mean, I don't know. I don't know anything. I'm just guessing. Maybe because Herman Hulse got the job, he was just like, okay, like clearly they're not gonna pick me for anything. I'm gonna go do something else. And I think that's kind of what happened. I mean, I don't know for sure. I don't have any. There's no rumors. Nobody's saying anything. This is just my theory. It just seems a little bit. Yeah, it's just me talking. It just seems a little bit too convenient. But who knows? But it's going to be interesting to see where he lands after this.
Yeah. What we do know is in the last few years of his position at Sony, he was sort of like the spearhead for all the indie developers because they saw a problem where a lot of indie developers and their games weren't being noticed on PlayStation, specifically in their PlayStation Store. And because of him, he sort of like spearheaded their way to the PlayStation Store where they can see all these indie developers and all these indie games. So it was because of him the sort of indie scene on PlayStation got significantly better. So we don't know exactly why he's leaving, but we can speculate that it may be because he didn't get any of the jobs that I think he should have gotten.
Yes.
Yeah. I didn't want to bring up any of the conspiracies.
I mean, it's not really a conspiracy. It's just a guess. Like, it just seems very weird that now, of all times, he would choose to leave. I mean, granted, he's old, so it's not too crazy to want to, like, move on and do something else.
It's not too crazy, but technically it is still a conspiracy because we don't know any truths behind it.
Yeah, I guess.
And also, like, he did state that he wanted to stay in the industry.
Yeah.
So why want to stay in the industry but just leave Sony? That's where the real question comes from.
That's exactly right. Like, the fact that he's just leaving Sony and he's gonna do something else within the games industry. And I said in the chat, like, imagine he goes to Xbox. That'll be crazy.
You just want so much.
Yes.
You just want so much.
He does.
Let's then talk some more PlayStation news because earlier this week there were rumors and reports from actually really good sources that Sony was in talks to acquire FromSoftware's parent company. I'm gonna screw this up. Kodokawa,
yeah.
Okay, good. And everybody was speculating that, oh great, that's it. All FromSoftware games are going to be exclusive now, and if that's it, it's done. But Kodokawa actually came out and made a statement saying there are some articles on acquisitions of our corporation by the Sony Group that say, however, this information is not announced by the company, and the company has received an initial letter of intent to acquire the company's shares, but no decision has been made at this time. If there were any fact that should be announced in the future, we will make an announcement in a timely and appropriate manner. So it does seem that they were given a letter of intent to be acquired by Sony, but no official statement has been put out by the company, and it just begs to differ. Why Kodokawa? A lot of people were talking about just FromSoftware, but I think it's way bigger than that. So I think earlier this year, Sony got control of Funimation and Crunchyroll. They own that corner of the market for anime, and Kodokawa has a major foothold in Korea with the anime market. If they get Kodokawa, they will have Funimation, Kodokawa, and Crunchyroll. They will corner the market, a literal monopoly on anime.
Yes.
And I don't think that's good. And the reason why I say that is because after they acquired Funimation and absorbed it into Crunchyroll, they raised the prices.
They raised the price, and then
they raised the price immediately.
Not everything transferred over either.
Yes, no, some of your purchases didn't transfer over. So they raised the price and then slapped you in the face and said you're going to deal with it. So I don't think this will be a good acquisition simply for the anime part. You know, I know we're sort of a gaming podcast and we talk games, but this is big. This is really big. You know, yes, they're going to get FromSoftware if this goes through, but that corner of the market is... I don't think it should be cornered any further by Sony. I don't know where it could go or what can happen. I honestly don't. I hope this doesn't go through simply because of the anime market.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are too hyper fixated on the FromSoftware stuff, which honestly, if you think logically, there is no reason why Sony would want to make their games exclusives, because literally the best-selling game 2 years ago was Elden Ring. I think to this day it sold like 25 million. They can't reach that without being multi-platform. Like that's just not gonna happen. Yeah, they have Bloodborne and they have Demon Souls, but those like barely sold like a few million. So if that's any indication on like what their games would sell on just PlayStation, then like that's clearly not a good move. So I think
they can ask Sony and they can ask Square Enix how well they sell.
Yeah,
only on PlayStation. They can tell you that it's not good.
Yeah, Square Enix is like openly regretting their deal with PlayStation. So like I don't think it would be a good idea for Sony to do that. So I think if they do acquire them, then I think FromSoftware games will still be multi-platform. Or they might be forced to divest them to somewhere else. Like I think that's not the goal for Sony. Like you mentioned, it's all about the anime. Like that's what they want. That's the bigger fish in this deal. Exactly. And I think it's not a good thing because for the reasons you said before, like with Crunchyroll and Funimation, like they merged and now it's kind of like a clusterfuck. Like there's a lot of things that went wrong. They raised the price significantly. I think it was like more than double of like the subscriptions. And I mentioned not everything transferred over. So some people lost their animes that they purchased and it was really bad.
Yeah.
But what could they do? Like literally those were the two major companies in regards to anime in the West. So and now they would have Kodokawa. Like that's just one more belt on their buckle. Like or one more buckle on the belt. I don't remember. But
Good enough. Who cares?
but yeah, so I don't think this is a good thing for the consumer. But people, again, they're focusing so much on the FromSoftware side and not paying attention to everything else. So overall, we'll see what happens because nothing is set in stone. And supposedly there was talk that apparently the Kodokawa company, they don't want to run the business anymore, or the family doesn't want to run the business anymore. And they were actually pressuring Sony to do the purchase, but they didn't want to do it because it was so much, or I don't know. And apparently Microsoft approached them at one point. Like there's a lot. Everything's kind of up in the air. We don't really know everything. So we'll just wait and see. Honestly, nothing can happen. Like it's and I know Tencent is also interested. So, but they want it to be like local, even though Sony's a Japanese company and Kodokawa's Korean. Like it's still closer than all the other ones. Yeah, we'll just see how things play out. But anybody who wants this to go through is not paying attention. And this is not the same as the Activision Blizzard King deal for Microsoft, because Microsoft, they kept that everything going forward is going to be multi-platform. Like at least when it comes to ABK, maybe they'll have like one or two exclusives, but I mean we've already seen their strategy. Like they want to have everything everywhere. So it's not a matter of like keeping games away from everybody. Like even if they don't release on PlayStation, it would be on everything else. Like it's not the same thing.
Yeah. No, it's definitely not the same. But like you said, we'll just have to wait and see where this goes, and hopefully it doesn't go.
Yeah. Maybe if it goes through, we might get a freaking Bloodborne remaster. So maybe, who knows?
Good luck with that one.
No, that's wishful thinking, right?
Yeah, definitely. All right, let's get on some we got some Xbox news. So Xbox is axing the avatar. So on Xbox we have avatars. You can make your own avatar, customize it, you can buy things for it. And in January 2025, they're getting rid of the program, the Xbox Avatar Editor. They're just getting rid of it. They're claiming low engagement. Not enough people are making their avatars, and or probably even care about it. I can't remember the last time I actually went there and did anything with my Xbox avatar. So I understand, but yeah. So starting I think in January 1st, the program will be done. That will end it.
I'm surprised it's still around. to be honest. I like the idea of the avatars, like when they first launched them, because it came out around the time of the Wii and the Mii's.
Yeah,
So like everybody was making Mii's, and I was even doing that. I remember going on the Me, I forgot what it's called, Me Plaza or something like that, where you could see other people's creations and you could download them to be in your thing.
Yeah.
It was cool. It was a cool concept, but I think ultimately like it was just a phase, and I don't think that the Xbox version of it was like even done seriously. Like they just wanted to have something, you know? So I think it kind of sucks in that like they could have done more with it. It just felt like they never tried. And then you call, like, if you're talking about the avatars, you have to talk about like the 1 versus 100 stuff. Like they never did anything like that ever again, and I don't know why. Maybe it was just too expensive, but I think it's just like just a missed opportunity in general.
Yeah, definitely a missed opportunity for sure. I mean, I don't know if anybody would be sad this is going. I mean, when you look at your Xbox profile, you see like your avatar there, and that's about it. You know, people. It's actually difficult to get to because you got to go to your full profile, then you got to go all the way over to hit the avatar. It's just, of course, it's gonna be low engagement. They never really did anything to make it, you know, stand out. So it will be gone in January, and I don't think anybody will miss it.
Yeah, I don't think anybody cares. It's just like, oh yeah, I forgot that was the thing.
Yeah.
You can. No,
right.
I guess like I remember a PlayStation Home. Like people like that, but they wanted something like that, and then Sony never did anything else. Like I don't understand what it's like.
Didn't they close PlayStation Home too?
Yeah, they closed PlayStation Home too. So it's like they have these ideas and people like them, but they don't do anything with them, and then they close them because like nobody cares. It's like, oh, you made them not care. It's like, what do you expect?
It's true. People don't care because you don't put enough effort into it to make it worthwhile.
Right.
Yeah. All right, let's get on to the last bit of news we have, and it's from Nintendo, because Nintendo is on a warpath with their lawyers. They're looking to crack down on Switch modders. They have in a recent federal court in Washington State, Nintendo of America said its investigation of Switch modders James Archbox Williams has given its new targets. They include it includes a Switch Pirates subreddit with some 200,000 members. 200,000 members is crazy. So Nintendo sued Williams back in June over piracy claim and his alleged operations with the subreddit. And it's actually really funny. I was digging a little deeper into this. This guy shamed himself pirating the games and then playing the pirated games on stream. So Nintendo literally has like his streams in the court filings as evidence. I mean, they got this guy dead to rights. He's gonna either go to or he's gonna pay a very hefty fine. So Nintendo is definitely coming after any modder, any buddy who's part of the subreddit for the Switch Pirates. They're coming after you.
What a dumb.
God damn it! This is what happens when people believe in stupidity. Like
yes, honestly,
it's the same thing that happened with the stupid. Was it Chase Money glitch?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
People are filming themselves like committing actual credit fraud, and they're like, I don't know. I was like, I don't understand why people are coming after me. I'm like, well, you committed a crime,
and you recorded yourself
and filmed it. So. What were you expecting? Let me know real quick.
Yeah, this is one of those like digital footprint type things where it's like you don't realize what you're actually doing by broadcasting yourself doing shit that you probably shouldn't be doing. Like that's what it is. Like they probably wouldn't have gotten caught if they just shut up. Like that especially when it comes to like piracy and modding and stuff like that. You should know it's always like on the low. Like you can't be like if you watch any like tutorial on YouTube, like they always say this is for educational purposes because that's the clear. Like that's how you're able to get away with showing stuff that you probably shouldn't have been showing. But no, the fact that he was just like boasting about it and just saying, yeah, this is how you do it, like fuck it. Like no, you got what's coming to you. But
the consequences of my actions.
Yeah, exactly.
Who would have seen it coming?
That's exactly what it is.
Oh no.
But honestly, like it becomes a little bit more concerning when you look at like how hard they're going after this, because a lot of like the like piracy, it's not necessarily just to get like free shit. A lot of it has to do with like game preservation, because Nintendo of all companies has been very, very laxed on the idea of game preservation. Their idea of game preservation is just having you buy the shit again. Like, no, that's not how it's supposed to work. Like, you should be able to get the games that you have bought before and have it still work on future hardware. Like, that's what game preservation is. But
what you mean?
Nintendo just doesn't believe in it.
What you mean? If you bought it once, you could buy it again. I don't see the problem.
Well, yeah, that's Nintendo's viewpoint.
Absolutely. Is the right?
So, yeah, so the fact that Nintendo's going so hard on this, it gets me a little bit worried about how they're gonna come after, like, or how they feel about just the idea of playing games that you may or may not own, like on a different device that they intended. Like that's, and I remember there was a court case. I forgot what it was for, but in the documents it said that the consumer does have a right to like back up games and play them on like whatever device they have, but or not games, back up media. They didn't specify games though. I think that's the problem. So eventually this probably going to come to a head and give like a definitive answer. Like, is games covered under that ruling where people can back up their games and play them on different devices? Because we already got emulation legalized. So the one step is just to have the games themselves to be legalized and being able to play like old like N64 games and GameCube games on like a PC or on a Switch or whatever. But yeah, I feel like that might have to be the only way that happens, because otherwise Nintendo's just gonna freaking rule with an iron fist and come after everybody. I think the mods, or some of the mods at least, on the subreddit for like Switch Pirates, they actually got raided.
Yes.
Like in this whole process. So like
Yeah.
they're taking this seriously. Like this is not a joke.
No, it's very serious. When you have FBI knocking on your door because you're pirating games, it's very serious.
Yeah, because we always joke about it. It's like, oh, they're not gonna come after me. Like, but they can.
Yeah.
So you gotta be careful.
They can and they will. You are not. Anything that is streamed is able to be seen by anybody. Anyone who thinks that your thing is private so I can see it, you're stupid. Anyone can see it.
Yes, very much so. Just be careful.
Yeah, that's what we got for the news this week.
Yeah, there's a lot. We were just talking before we started that like if we didn't skip last week, this week would have been pretty light. But yeah. So what's up?
Next episode, we talk about the awards and all the people that won.
Yes, or we'll give our predictions.
Yeah, because it's the 12. We'll be all right next week.
We'll be all right. So, but that's for another time. But remember, if you're watching on YouTube, you can like and subscribe and comment and talk to us, because we want to talk to you. We want to hear your thoughts and opinions. Maybe not Brother Zay, but we can you can support us by clicking the links in our description, which is our sponsors: W Energy, NordVPN, and Starforge Systems.
Let's go.
If you're listening to on podcast, you can rate us and share podcasts with anybody who would enjoy listening to us talk about games. So that being said, we will see you guys next week. Hopefully nothing cancels. And peace.
Later.
Bye.